Welcome in once again. Guys, we're here to feed that Yu-Gi-Oh cardboard addiction, guys. You guys already know, man, none other than, hey, with COTO cards himself, man. Look, this guy, look, he's here, man. Welcome in, COTO. I'll give you the floor in just a bit, but beforehand, I need to express my feelings. Look at this channel, man. Over 2K subscribers, man. The man must be doing something right. You're not going to get 2K subscribers in like under a year. What? Something's right, man. Look at it. Look, if you go to popular videos, over 5K left and right, over 3K left and right. Look at these thumbnails. The man knows what he's doing. He has a very vibrant community. A lot of people always love him. The content, his delivery in the comment section, just showing that love, you know. And when I saw this channel, I just could relate. You know, we're building awesome Yu-Gi-Oh communities out there, and what better way than to collab, to unify those communities and just share our thoughts with regards to some cards, especially what cards you should be looking at heading into Nats. So that's the main theme of the show, man. Over 2K subs, man. I'm excited. Big things coming for the channel. You know, you can see the clear growth, the path. Look at the latest videos, man, talking about Battles of Legend, case openings, you know, you name it, man. Look, the man knows what he's doing, and game respects game. That's why I love, you know, to have COTO on the channel. So let's hear it, man. Let's hear it. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Oh man, I am super excited to be here. I've been watching Fresh Off the Press for like a year. I am on Fresh Off the Press. Check me out. That's pretty cool. I want to thank you for inviting me to the channel. It's an honor to be here. I love it. You know, both of us living in Florida. Pretty exciting. Florida boys going at it on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Let's do it.
Let's get it, man. It can't get any better than that. I'm super stoked for YCS Orlando in February. Man,
oh, that's going to be nuts.
Your boy's excited. I can't wait, brother. So, for sure. So, thanks for hopping on here. We're going to talk, first of all, immediately about COTO's, look at that, his penny stonk. His penny stonk is none other than oil. Your boy Fresh is hopeful that we'll see this at a Billy. Your boy COTO said, and he'll say it again, that he doubts that. And I agree, 100%. I doubt it, man. It's going to be rough. I don't feel like paying no $10 for a playset of this card. But I love the artwork, and the potential of the effect is there. What do you have to say about this one, COTO?
We say the same thing about cards. Like, I don't tell you to buy cards that I'm not buying myself. Right. And I forgot to buy this card before we started this video. As soon as we hang up, this is the first thing I'm doing. I'm buying my play set of it. Here's why. Okay. Everybody wants this card. Everybody's talking about this card. Whether you just want it for the meme or you want it because you want to play it, everybody's talking about this card. And it's short printed. It is short printed in this set. We opened up case after case after case and never got more than 3. If everybody wants a card and it is short printed, there's a good chance that this card is going to start trending up. I would buy it now rather than paying $15 or $20 for a playset. I really think this card has hit its bottom and will start to level out. That's it. That's where I'm at on this card. I'm comfortable $9, you know, $10 a playset. That's where I'm comfortable going in.
I mean, what a recommendation, man. I'm going to have to listen to COTO's advice, man. We're going to both come over here, buy, you know, one of these play sets and get exposure because, honestly, you see, he provided evidence. And look, here at the Fresh Off the Press community, you know, we talk about the charts, supply and demand, fundamental economics, math, probabilities, you name it. You know, we love the charts, but that's what I like. Look, COTO, he talks about evidence. He talked about case openings, ratios. Look, that's very important data. That's why I love collabing, because you see, you bring a different, fresh perspective like COTO's, and it's on point, man. If he opened, he's talking about what he did, the facts. He opened case after case after case, and people, you know, the memes, oil, I have fun with it. I love the artwork and stuff, but he's talking about data. The fact that this is short printed, it's a card that has been getting floored. The supply has been coming in. Okay, that's good in the short term, but he's talking about long term. After the masses come in, you know, that they're cracking packs open like, oh, I got oil, I don't need this card. They come in, they list it, 85 listings. Now someone could get fooled and be like, you know what, $3, that's cheap. I'll pick that up at $1. I always play around it. I would like to see it at $1. Do I think this is going to be a Billy? Nah. And based on COTO's evidence, for sure. I mean, I doubt that ever goes, you know, a man could hope. You know what I mean? But yeah, $10, like COTO said, Perfect entry price. I agree with him. You know, this on the 3-month, it's a falling knife, but if you go to the monthly chart, look, this is the first bottom. It could be a double bottom. So I like what COTO said. We're going to get exposure soon. This is his penny stock of the day, and I agree with him 100%. So the second question for you, COTO, is, you know, as I ask everyone that helps on the channel, is just why they love Yu-Gi-Oh! I always love to hear about everyone's story. You know, everyone's story is different. Some people is the anime, some people was friends that, you know, got him into it. Other people is X, Y, and Z. So I always like, at least the first time that I have someone collabing on the channel, just a simple question. Why do you love Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, for me, I'm an old dog, man. I was 42 years old. I had never heard of Yu-Gi-Oh! Not one. I had never heard anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! And my son started collecting these cards. And I'm a sports guy. I did fantasy football, FanDuel, DraftKings. That was what I did with my spare time. And I have this son who has no interest in sports, just wants to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I took it as an opportunity to be able to connect with my son. Wow. And I picked up the game and I tried to figure out how to play it. And I absolutely fell in love with the game. I don't even play FanDuel anymore, or DraftKings, or any of it. All of my attention completely shift to Yu-Gi-Oh! Wow. And that's what we do. Like the entire house, we get cases, and the entire, well, not my wife, because she has absolutely no interest, but right. Me and my two boys, we gather around, we open it up, we just have a ton of fun. It has bonded our family together. Wow. And for that, I'm forever grateful for this game. And wow. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I mean, yeah, man. Hey, you can't say it any better than that, honestly, man. I mean, that's incredible. The fact that you get through a trading card game to bond with your sons like that, and because of them, you got inspired to have a channel, to have your store. You know, by the way, great deals. COTO has a store on TCG Player. You guys should check that out. Just the experience around Yu-Gi-Oh! That look, a family can get, you know, a father with his sons. I mean, that's just amazing, honestly. That's mind-boggling in a good way. I mean, and that's what I love it. That's why I always ask the question, because many people love the game due to different reasons. You know, the entry point for you was your sons. You know, other people was anime, or maybe when they were young friends. But that is an amazing story, you know, and we can all relate to it. You know, just the love and the passion that we have for the game. So honestly, thank you for taking some of your time, you know, to share those moments with the community. I know they'll definitely relate and have a blast listening to you explain that. So that's awesome, brother. Thank you so much for sharing that love and passion that we all share, honestly. So I really do appreciate that. Guys, before we get to the cards, don't forget Whatnot, link in the description down below. If you want singles, old, new, you know, Battles of Legend, the latest and greatest, there's a $15 you know, discount code over here that you can get. You go to the link tree right here, $15 off right there. Go get that credit. Don't miss out. We also have a Discord giveaway. Once we reach 500 Discord members, we're giving away a QCSR tour guide, Ash, and a couple of extra cards. So if you want to be one of them winners, all you have to do, one click gets you it. Don't miss out. One click gets you in. We have an investment guide. Just hey, is an R09 investment guide, 5-minute guide. You go in, you know what's an R09. It's not like we all don't know, but there, you know, I dedicate time to make sure that I explain myself well. Take advantage of that. Start your educational journey for free right there, and destroy the like and subscribe button, guys, right there. Ring that bell. Hey, you can't make this stuff up. On our way to 5.2K. Then we have a 5.5K giveaway. You know, we'll be giving away a QCSR Nightmare Magician, as well as TCG Player gift cards and mats, and you name it, everything. So guys, 5.5 giveaway around the corner. Guys, destroy that like and subscribe button. And as we always say, none of this content is official financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. All right, show me the cards, Jay. All that is good and well. We have COTO here in the building. You know, you got your discount codes and giveaways. We want to get to the cardboard, the brown piece of cardboard, guys. Nats is just around the corner. Nationals is just around the corner, literally just a couple of weeks away. Everyone and their mothers getting prepared for the massive event. Thousands of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players getting together, all for a single purpose. Most of them competing, you know, side events, main events, you know, this, that, trading, you know what I mean? That's going to be big. So you want to make sure that you get access to most of these cards that we'll be talking about and discussing with COTO today. Just what to keep in mind, what to maybe get, you know, go through prices of these cards that will have high demand as we enter into Nat season. So you know, we're going to go through some of these best-selling cards to just hear what COTO has to say, and myself as well. to get ready for Nat season. So let's dig in. We're going to start off with Phantom of Yubel. I mean, the man himself, COTO, cracked, cases and cases and cases of Battles of Legend Terminal Revenge. So he'll provide more data-relevant insight for this card. But again, Phantom of Yubel is a fan favorite deck. Archetype is actually a deck that competes right now, but with Fiendsmith literally coming the day before the event, a lot of people have Yubel as a strong contender to take over Nats this year. So again, this price has been free falling though. As you can see, people were paying 85s. We said patience wins this game, no need to FOMO in. Then it was 65s. And I said, it's a good time to consider it. It's a good time if you're competing, if you're going to Nats, but maybe to invest, maybe you want to wait for 50s. That was the level that we always talked about. $50. And as we can see here, we're around the mid 50s if we clean this up janitor style. Right here, 45 listings around mid 50s. Don't get it twisted. After a couple of these, the walls of China are at $60, and that wall could get gobbled up as players continue to prepare for Nat season to play one of the best decks in town right now, especially with Fiendsmith just around the corner. So what do you think about this one, COTO?
As far as the Yubel goes, the Fiendsmith engine is going to change the game. And if it changes the game at Nationals, and it does what I think it's going to do, this card is going to go up. Like, I wouldn't mess around waiting. Like, if you want to play Yubel with Fiendsmith, I think now's the time to do it. Because if this deck makes some noise at Nationals, you're not going to be able to touch it for this price. So like for me, like as far as investing in the card, yeah, I would wait. I would wait for it to hit that 50 mark, something like that. But if this is a deck that you want to play, you got your eye on playing this deck, this ain't a bad price. And you might be wishing that it was this price. If Yubel Fiendsmith really makes some noise. I compare this to SP Little Knight. When SP Little Knight came out, it was $80. That's expensive. But you saw what happened to SP Little Knight. That sucker went up. And you were looking at like 120, 1/3. Like, that was an expensive card. You were getting a discount at 80. Even though it's a lot of money. So Yubel, I look at it the same way. I think Konami has set Fiendsmith and Yubel up to do well at Nationals. The people don't know how to play against it. And you're going to get wins just because people don't know how to play against it. I really think this deck is going to go in, make some noise. I would buy it now if you want to play it.
I mean, those are amazing points. Excellent points. Maybe you're investing. Maybe you wait a little bit more. Sure. But if it's to play, exactly. You don't want the $60, $55, $60 card to be triple digits, and you're looking back at a chart like this. Right here. Triple digits at 110s from 80s. You don't want to be that guy. Paying 80, 90s, 100s for this card. Like COTO said, on point with those takes. Man knows what he's talking about. Hey, Phantom of Yubel, if it's to play, don't wait. If it's to invest, even that could be a risk right now. Even if you want to play set, get exposure. Maybe you buy one. If it goes up, you already have one. If it goes down, you buy a second or third copy. That's what we call here the playing from a position of strength. So I agree with COTO. You want to get exposure now for a card that, yes, it has been free falling. The supply is coming in, but eventually we'll get a V-shaped recovery, especially that main point that COTO said. If this does what we all expected to do at Nats, there's a lot of people that they're not paying attention to this. They're taking it easy or lightly, but then that attention is going to come. When they see that this deck dominates the meta, they're going to want to get exposure to it, and that's when this card can make its necessary move. And as COTO just said, he talked about Little Knight. This is a card from Age of Overlord again. It's getting a reprint in the tins this year, sure, but people need it for Nats. But most people that need it have it. A lot of people taking profits here. This card is coming back down, look, to 89s in the 80s, yeah. With shipping, is still holding 90s, but again, this is still in the double-digit range. It cracked the triple digits down towards double digits here not too long ago, and we literally drew it on the charts, because COTO, we like to use the charts here, as you know, here. Right there. Look at that. We drew this line. Look, like a little kid. We drew the line right there, and we said if this breaks, we expect to retouch these prices back down here, and we're on our way. A little bit bump on the line. We expect that final push down, especially post Nats. Everyone is going to take a break. They're ready went to Nats. They're waiting for the reprint. So again, this card, yikes. I mean, could it get maybe a spike here like maybe a week or two before as people get maybe, but I don't think this card, it's not like we're gonna see a respike to highs or nothing like that for this one. I don't see it happening. So Little Knight, people expecting the reprint. It's a broken card. It's still, in every extra deck, essentially, every meta extra deck right now. So yeah, 90s right now, just under $100. I could see this card go down to 80 soon, especially as that supply pressure comes in. So what do you think about this one, Cody?
Yeah, it going down is not a reflection of how good the card is. I think it going down is a reflection of it is due to get a reprint in about 2-3 months. And like you already brought up, most people who wanted this card and were willing to spend the $80, $100, $110, they already have it. Card's been out for a while. People already have their SPs. So new people cracking this product open, putting SPs on the market, most of the people that want it don't want to pay the price for it. The people who were willing to pay the price for it, they already have it. So I don't think the price this card made me good. And I am not a good, I'm not great at Yu-Gi-Oh! I love the game, but I was able to play SP Little Knight and get some wins just from this card. That's how good the card is.
Yeah, that's an awesome take, man. The card has been great since inception. The demand has been bonkers since it came out. The card is just too broken. But it's its due time. A couple of months from now, we're going to be having, and again, the key is, though, it might be short printed, but at the end of the day, people will be cracking tins open. They're going to be having Little Knights, and if they already have their copies, those are extras or vice versa. So again, the supply will come in. So I agree. I'm with COTO. Man, great take for sure. Then we have Snake Eye Ash. Again, this is the ultimate rare. It's been dumping down here after spiking. Came out 55s, went all the way up to 62s. It says here, let's see, let's go to the monthly. Yeah, 62s. And now look at that, retracing back down to the mean. That's people that wanted him, got him. A lot of people also fears about a possible ban list, either pre-nets or right there post-nets. A lot of people think Snake Eye, is obviously the deck to get hit. Is going to be very interesting to see again. Like COTO mentioned earlier, Fiendsmith, how it comes out, if it's combined with Yubel or with Snake Eye or just many different other decks, to see how this deck will perform. A lot of people believe that this deck will continue to compete even once Fiendsmith comes out. But the balance is going to be the determining factor for this card. But this card is beautiful. This ultimate rare looks very, very nice. And right now, cracking 50s towards the downside here. A card that was 60 plus, even 70s on eBay, going crazy. Look, 25 listings, so it's still hard to get. As an ultimate rare. People going to Nats, this is the one event of the year that they want to shine. They want to bling out their decks. Many people got their invites, just waiting for this moment. They're going to want this card. And look, a lot of one-ofs. It's not like you're seeing consistent play sets here, from one seller. So the card, look at that. We just had someone here pay 75s. I need COTO's reaction. Where's that picture? COTO, look who's here. We have Billy Bob here. This is your boy. I love
Billy Bob.
Yo, this is your boy, bro. This is your boy, Billy Bob. Look, Billy was looking at this card. So he came in, right? He saw that Snake Eye Ash was 47. You know what I mean? But he scrolled down. I guess he went to a couple of pages later, probably to the third page, because he's that good. He went to the last page. He's like, I'm going to be different. I'm going to buy from the last page from TCG Player. And he shut out 75 Billies for a card that is 47s. I don't know why I'm looking sideways, COTO, but you tell me. Why did Billy Bob buy that $75 card?
I have no idea. A lot of times people don't know that you can scroll down and they just pick the top card, which is crazy to me. I have heard that sometimes they're international buyers and that spikes the price. I don't know how that works on TCG Player. I know that is a reality on eBay because we also sell on eBay.
Correct.
But some people they buy as a seller. Some people, they just buy from specific sellers. They trust them. They maybe they have a relationship with them. Dang. And they'll just buy from them.
Yeah, COTO.
And that's
Hey, you right, bro. You hit it on the spot, but your boy ain't paying no 75s for no $47.
No, I ain't doing that either. I ain't doing that either.
The only relationship I pay double for is my wife. That's about it, man. That's about it. Yeah, I ain't paying no double for no damn seller, but I feel you, bro. I'm just messing. Yeah, this is insane. Yeah, like you said, that's a great point. There could be shenanigans, market manipulation, international sellers. That's a reality. But we've gone through so many examples that there's no way that every example is going to be an international seller or, you know, a store buying from themselves or some crazy stuff. I know there's people, I've done it in the past. I've had a card, you know, multiple cards listed, you know, that it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that you have people. I know there's people also with that feature in TCG Player, like that you can, like your card optimizer. I know there's people that probably, like you said, they choose from this seller or like direct TCG or something like that. But we need to, they need to be more responsible because the price difference is too much. You know, if it's 47s and you buy it at 53s because it's a great seller, you know, great reviews, 100%. I respect that. $6-7 difference. You're paying for, you know, a premium per se to ensure that you get the card that you really want. But when you're paying, you know, in excess of, you know, essentially double or sometimes triple or like 10x, like I've seen and stuff, like it doesn't matter what's going on. Like no one should buy, you know, a card like 5x, 10x above MSRP, as we can see many different great sellers selling the same card at this current price. It doesn't make sense. But I love your Billy Bob explanation, brother. I love it.
Nah, it's crazy. On eBay, we would post cards just as a marker, just to get it in there, at an extremely high price. And sometimes they would sell. I'm like, that wasn't the price that we were actually setting it at. We were just putting it in there.
Yeah, then you would come back later and go through the price and stuff. They didn't even let you do that. Billy Bob was like, give me that. COTO selling that.
I have no idea what people are doing.
I feel you, bro. And look, it happens in all markets. Look, not just TCG Player, but eBay. You know what I mean? So it's crazy to see this, guys. But yeah, this is a fallen victim, as we can see here, Billy Bob. But yeah, I mean, all in all, this card, sub 50s. Again, if you're going to Nats, I would consider it, you know, if you want to bling out your deck, especially after this retracing back down to the main. But, you know, if it's to invest, I'd wait for the list. I'd let Nats to come through, see what happens. You might even pay a higher price, but at least knowing the information post Nats, post Banlist, you know, I think that would be a more informed investment decision. Then we have Nightmare Throne. Guys, one of the best-selling cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes, we talked about Phantom of Yubel. Everyone needs it from Battles of Legend Terminal Revenge. But our latest core set brought to us Nightmare Throne. A great field spell, guys, for Yubel. Again, one of the best decks, a contending deck right now for Nats. A lot of people going to locals, dominating their locals with this deck. And again, everyone was waiting for the fusion. Like we just said, it came. So again, people need this card. We had a massive spike once the fusion came out towards $50. Now we're retracing back down to the mean. That's healthy. There's people taking profits. There's people that were buying this card at 30s. They saw it at 50s. They're like, man, you want it? Yeah, take these 3 off me. And then that's why you see the sell pressure come back down. But again, it's just coming back to these previous highs here. Healthy retracement to mid 30s right here. As you can see, clean this up janitor style. We can see here 52 listings. Again, 6 pages. And the key about this card, yeah, people taking profits, retracing right now. But you need to think post Nats. It's not just right now. I don't see Konami. These cards are too new. They're not going to hit you, Bell. And the deck works too well with Fiendsmith. So I could see this card literally being a $50 ultra rare once again. Maybe even more. Right now, people just taking profits. It's like, oh, I'm going to Nats. I already have it. I don't care. Yeah, but then post Nats, or if a ban list comes, everyone rushes to you, Bell. Maybe they don't play Snake Eyes anymore. You know what I mean? And that can cause that possible pump, a next leg up in price. So what do you think about this one, Nightmare Throne?
Yeah, when we opened up this set, this was the card to target. This was, and it was, I think it was like $30. Mm-hmm. We were pre-selling it for $30, and I told people this is a fair price on this card. This card will go up, and as you can see by the chart, it has gone up. Because Yubel, it appears to me that Konami is interested in making Yubel the deck of this format. I mean, releasing this set releasing the next set right before Nationals with the Fiendsmith, like, it just seems like Yubel is just set up to do great things. So this is another card. If you plan on playing Yubel, you're going to need this. I think you play this at 3, so you're going to need 3 of them. If it does well, this card, as well as the Phantom, is going to go up. Not a bad price.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not a good price.
Imagine, right? It's not good, it's not bad, it's right in between. I mean, you know what I mean? It's tough decisions sometimes. But again, right now you see this at what, like 37, 38s? Imagine this being 50 bills. Then you're gonna have to pay 150s and beyond post-tax. Right now, you pay maybe 130s, you know, so you save $20 possibly, or who knows, maybe it becomes even more expensive, $60 plus the Yugioh. Let's say it goes from 55s to 75s. Then like that's where people find themselves overpaying or paying a premium without realizing, when they could have picked up the cards on a retracement back down to the mean. That's the important part. You see retracement, you buy. So just like COTO said, I wouldn't be picking this card up right now. Then we have Fabled Lurie. Man, just like we've been talking about this thing, hey, Fiendsmith around the corner, broken effect working with Fiends and Fiendsmith here. As you can see, only 4 prints of this card. We have commons at $7, and then craziness in the teens here with the DT2 $40. Like, what is going on with this card? I get it. People need it. It's understandable. But $45 for a card that was what? Like just the other day? Man, this thing just straight up 10x, man. From $4 to 40s. You see this in video games only, man. You know, or movies, stock market movies. You know, a card going from $4 to 45s. Man, that Code, I need you to talk about this.
Yeah, when that card started spiking up, we had several of them. Not the DTs, right, but the hidden Arsenal Chapter 1. And I sold those as quick as I could. Like, we listed them as fast as we could, like because it's a card that you need if you're gonna play it. You need the card. It's the brick in the deck,
right,
but it's a necessary card, and because it doesn't have a ton of prints, and the prints that it has are older, you're going to be paying the price for it. And nobody opened up Hidden Arsenal's Chapter 1. Like, it's a total garbage set.
Yeah, COTO opened it up, and he got rewarded for it.
Only us. We're the only idiots.
At least he got rewarded for it. I love it. Look, COTO was pulling this at 15 shekels. And selling, you know, up here around 5, 6, man, that's the good life. That's the good life, man. So, yeah, I mean, hey, you take profits. First leg up, retrace, second leg up, now retracing. Yeah, could it get a third leg up into the hype, into Fiendsmith? Really? Sure. Could this $7 card be double digits? Sure. You have massive walls, people here. Massive walls at China, 458 copies. But it's about the masses. These look like a lot. Wow, 400, 500 copies. But imagine just hundreds of people needing play sets. What do you think is going to happen when Fiendsmith comes out? You know, pretty soon, people want this card. They need it. So unless a reprint comes for this anytime soon, which I don't really see where they would sneak this in, you know, anytime in the next couple of months, this card can definitely be double digits. Again, the hype is here. So great points made by COTO on this one. Then we have Archfiend Eris here from Judgment of the Light. This one, again, this card was 80 cents, spiked up to 4s. It says here barely under 5s. Again, all these Fiend cards hard to get. People need them. They want to play with them. And look, this is pushing $5.25, but the walls are already at $7. This is the last place that you do need to pay shipping regardless. So again, it's pushing $7. Last time we talked about it, it was $4.50s, and that's crazy. From 7 to 10s is not that far out. I mean, one page only, single digi listings. Just wanted to piggyback off what COTO said with these Fiend cards. People need them. If you have them, I would list them. I would sell them. I would take profits, you know, under these walls right here. And look, especially if you were buying at shekels, from shekels to billies, you know, with a card like this, you need to eat good, and you need to eat good right now. Then we have this one. I want to ask COTO about this from Red Lotus King Flame Crime. It was $3, $3.50s. You know, no one saw this coming. Jesus Christ, what a V-shaped recovery. It looks like a check mark right there. Jesus Christ, from 320s spiking up to 15s essentially. Craziness, guys, for this card. Again, anything that says Fiend, as we can see here right there, look at that. During the main phase, if you control a Fiend tuner, look at that, look at that. Easy. Or you can, your opponent controls a special summon monster. Quick event, you can special summon this card from your hand. Look, if you do, inflict 400 for each fire monster you control. So again, it burns, free special summon. If it's sent to the graveyard as a synchro material, you can send one normal trap from your deck, so it dumps a trap as well. This thing has like 3 effects intrinsically. Easy to special summon. Fiend level 3 fire as well. Card looks beautiful too. So again, just came out in Terminal Revenge. I know from COTO's case opening, you know, he has to have a couple of these, so he must be eating good. But let's let him say that himself. Look at that, $15. What do you think about this?
I wish I was, man. I wish I was. Do you know how many of these we sold for $3? Like,
You're probably
all
pulling
of
them. You're probably pulling them like
Uh,
$3, $3, $3, $3. Right? I feel you. Yeah.
we sold all of them. They sold out for $3, and then the card spiked
Right.
up.
Right. It
We have
happens, of course.
absolutely none of them left,
Right. Right.
unfortunately.
Of course.
And we didn't get to get in on the spike of this card. It kills me. This card absolutely kills me. But this is another card that is short printed in there. We pulled no more than 3 per case. Almost 3 per case every single case we opened. This card 3 per case, and that's short printed when you're opening up. Every pack has a secret, and you're opening up 24 packs in 12 boxes, and you're only getting 3 of that card.
That's crazy.
It's short printed, and you're seeing, and this is what I'm afraid of for oil. This is why I'm saying oil is a card that you're going to want to go in and get right now, because what you're seeing with this card could easily happen with oil.
Look at that. Yeah, the man is talking about data. Again, once again, referring to his personal case opening. Right now, people see this, they're like, Then they come back, a week later, and then they see these prices. And they're like questioning themselves, man, why didn't I pick up more? Why didn't I at least have my playset? COTO is telling y'all, using the facts, the evidence, the data right now, that this could be this card in that sense, or at least hit double digits, or at the very least double up from here. So again, could this be a $6, $7, $7.50? For sure. Even double digits one, down the line, as COTO just said. So great comparison and great reflection on this card. Then we move on, from Battles of Legend, Terminal Revenge, we're moving on now to some cards that I believe you need to keep in mind. Just some decks that are out there that everyone forgot about. Yes, Fiendsmith is coming. That's going to be the mainstay, engine in many of these top decks, especially in Nats. We get it. But when people don't prepare for certain, like other decks, and these decks come prepared for you, for example, like if you're playing the meta and you're going to face a mirror matches, you got to think like, oh, I need to be, if I'm playing against the best deck all the time, what are the combos, what are the, play lines, should I do this and what should I side? But, some rogue decks can come and catch you by surprise. So again, we're going to talk about just a couple of cards that you need to keep in mind. Yes, I think this one's getting the ultimate rare in the next OTS pack. So that's going to be pretty cool. But look, it's still holding 25, still holding 25s. Yes, the card has gotten floored, as we can see. And it's been going down. A lot of people have switched over from low and, voiceless over to Snake Eye, over to Yugioh. So we get it. And now with Fiendsmith, more people will switch over. But don't forget about this card until the OT comes out. I think this will retain some value. Could we see it maybe in the teens, maybe a couple of deals short? But this is a secret rare from Phantom Nightmare. So until the reprint comes, this one should retain value, especially heading into high tier Yu-Gi-Oh competitive events. I mean, this deck took over some regionals right before, Yugioh got the fusion and Terminal Revenge came out. This deck was actually getting some regionals quietly. No one was paying attention to it. So I've always loved the potential of this deck, especially in a format where the masses, most people, most competitive players will be playing the best deck. So if you're ready, you can come in. If you have a good side deck, you might sneak in some dubs and make some things happen. So what do you think about this?
Man, I hate Voiceless Voice. I cannot beat that deck to save my life. I lose to that deck every single time. But this is a deck that is losing steam. Right. This is a deck that people are jumping ship. And when they do that, it's going to drive the price of these cards down. If you're interested in playing it, maybe you like ritual decks, or maybe you've just had an interest in the art. Now's not a bad time to start looking at Voiceless Voice. As Jay pointed out, it is a good deck. Like I can't beat it. That doesn't mean it's a good deck, but I can't beat Voiceless Voice. So, I mean, it's a good deck. Is it the best deck? Is it the deck that's going to get you there? Probably not. If you're a really good pilot, you might be able to get some wins with it. But if you were interested in playing it and it was too much money at the time, now might be a decent time to jump in on the deck, because people are switching over.
Correct. I mean, couldn't said it any better yourself with regards to this deck. Again, and this card, if you wanted to play it, here's the chance to do it. And again, if you're well prepared and you know what you're doing, you have the right side deck, and it's your day, you just never know. So definitely keep this card from Phantom Nightmare in mind. Then we have Ritual Beast Tamer Elder. Again, just we talked about Voiceless. Now we're moving to Ritual Beast. Yeah, the new cards came out. Yeah, do you think Crystal Beast is going to be the best deck? No. But at the same time, when you see these spikes, the demand is there. Some people want to try out the new cards. They want to try and compete even as Rogue. So again, you just never know. This card is off a high of $25. We don't expect Ritual Beast to make a lot of noise, but like I just said, you never know. So definitely need to keep these cards in mind. Single print. This card needs a reprint soon. Konami, make it happen. Yeah, we can see here back down into the teens for the unlims, and the first ads are around 18s. Just coming off a $25 high. What do you think? What do you think about Ritual Beast, COTO?
I'm excited to see what it can do. I like the idea of the deck. I've heard some people talking pretty high on it. I've heard some people trashing it as well. And so this is one of the decks that I am most interested in seeing how it performs on that kind of stage. Because there's it got a lot of support. And it's, there are people that are super excited about the deck. I sold this card for $3. I had 2 copies of it. I sold it for $3, and this is another one that just spiked up on me. Didn't see that coming, but it's it's an interesting deck to me. I actually think that there's a chance that it could do pretty well.
For sure. So yeah, again, like COTO just said, when a deck gets new support, you just, again, heading into the competitive season with cards that just came out, you never know. The intrigue is there, the speculation is there. So if you need this card, it's off the highs. Definitely one to consider. But yeah, it happens. It happens to all of us. Sometimes we sell early, sometimes we buy late, you know what I mean, and things of that nature. So let's just go par for the course. Like I always like to say on the channel, all that matters is entry price at the end of the day. If you can sell for more than what you bought it for, you'll have to just live with those results. So again, here we have Runic Tip. Again, Runic Engine, Runic Stun, topping YCS Indie. I think it was like 2 top 32s. And recently in the regional that I'll be talking soon on the channel, I think it got like top 4. So again, the deck continues to compete, and the chart is saying the same thing. This chart is showing consolidation. You're not seeing, a retracement back down to the mean. Let me draw some squiggly lines here once again. Look, so for this card, as we can see here, look, we have this is right here. This line, Jesus, I'm bad at drawing. Right there. This is the resistance point. It's just squiggling right here, waiting for people to continue to buy it before it spikes back up to retest this high right here. That high was what, $7.50, $8 maybe? That's what we're waiting for. You haven't seen a retracement. This is what you haven't seen. You haven't seen a retracement back down to this pivot low yet. So that's a sign. Usually that's an indicator that the supply is not, the demand is greater than the supply. People are needing this card. They're seeing Runic Stun making waves, getting tops in big top tier events. So they feel like they can have a shot as well. Yeah, Runic Stun, it takes no skill. This and that, stun decks and anti-meta deck. Yeah, but if it gets results, that's what people really care. They want to go to those events. They want to top. I wouldn't be surprised if a Runic Stun player, makes it to top 64, to topping nationals. I would not be surprised, especially with the deck's performance as of late. And again, 750s, 8s could be expected for this card. If it doesn't break this resistance towards the upside, then you could expect a retracement back down to 350s. But I think the latter is more like, the previous is more likely for this card. What do you think about Runic Tip on this one, COTO?
I love all the Runic cards. I honestly, I think that every serious Yu-Gi-Oh player should have the entire Runic core just put aside, because it's so splashable in so many decks, and every different meta. There you go. Every different meta brings up different decks that you can play Runic in. And it's like, to me, this is just one of those, it's kind of like the adventure package. When the adventure package was a big thing, it's not being played right now, but it's still good. But when the adventure package was a big thing, people were playing that in everything. And you see the same thing with Runic. Runic has been splashed in like every possible deck that you can imagine. Can I put the Runic cards in here? Great, let's try it. And people do. And some of them are good, some of them are not so good. But I love the Runic cards, and Tip is the heart and soul. I know Fountain, but Tip and Fountain are the heart and soul of the deck. So Yeah, I think it's a great price too. By the way, that's a beautiful prismatic secret rare that is just is stunning.
It
So
is just like the deck, just like Rune is Stun. The price is stunning. I can't believe this card is still single digits. You know, this is a card that you can look at it and if you see it, you're like, oh, it's $10. It's double digits. You'll be like, oh yeah, we get it. You know, that's what the price that it should have. But look, it's $6. $6. You have a 20 wall here over 6, and then you have a massive wall at 640s. But again, 6 pages, only 60 listings, so around $6. That's not bad. That's not bad to get exposure. $20. This is the most expensive card essentially of the core. You know, $20 here, you know, for the playset. And that's about it. That's all you need to compete in today's meta. Yeah, it's not maybe it's not that fun. It's anti-meta. Yeah, I mean, to me, that's what I love. I mean, I love to be that guy. I love to be that guy coming up to locals. Oh man, that's the thing. Yeah, it's me, bro. Let's get it. You know, let's play some Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what I mean? So
I know I play Horus Stun.
Yeah,
so
beautiful.
I'm all.
You see? Yes.
I'm all about that.
Yes. But we get it. I mean, honestly, I think runic tip, like they say, just the tip. You want to make sure that you get access to it right there. Don't be that guy paying double digits for a card that is $6. Again, from 6 to 10s, that's 40% increase. You don't want to be that guy. You do not want to be Billy Bob B. Here we have first movement solo, guys. A card, Melodious. Melodious has been a deck that has been making waves, has been making moves. Some people topping and even winning regionals with this deck. So again, we get it. Fiendsmith, Yugioh, all the top snake guys, we get it. But again, $17 for this card. It used to be 30 billies, 30 bills for this card. Now it's retracing strong back down to the mean. It needs a reprint. But again, people switching over. They want to play the new Fiendsmith cards and the best deck, getting ready for the big event. You know, so some people switch over, but there's a lot of people still that they play their Melodious decks and they need this card. So again, this is one to consider. Now that it's retracing, like if there was ever a time that you wanted to play this deck, especially getting ready for a big event. Maybe you want to go rogue, you want to go different, you want to play a deck that people don't see you coming for the most part compared to the other big decks or the best meta decks. This is a card that you'll need, and this is a deck core that you should consider and keep in mind. What do you think about Melodious on this?
Yeah, I'm not a huge Melodious fan. I think you hit it right there. If you do want to catch people off guard, I think this is probably one of the main decks to play. You will catch some people off guard. But for me, if I was going to be paying these prices, I'm just going for one of the main big decks. I'm not a huge fan of paying that kind of price for first movement solo. That's just me.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'm not.
A card that was a Billy COTO. From 1 to 30s, you're like, oh, wow, retrace back down. You're still paying 17x from that Billy price. When it was December, the kids, the boys were opening their presents. Everyone's having a good time. This card was $1. And then from that point to here, it's still 20, 17, almost $20 post-tax. Man, it's tough. It's rough. I get what COTO says. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But again, it's retracing from the highs and heading into a big event. That's like the only reason why I would be touching this card or the Melodious deck. But, you know, we need to talk about it because there might be people out there. They need to stay informed. They're like, oh, man, this card is cheaper now. Maybe they pull the trigger heading to the event. Maybe they always wanted to play the card. But I agree with COTO in the big picture with regards to this one. Then we have Ragnarok Bloom from Legacy of Destruction. Again, plants, insects, reptiles, you name it. A lot of people are playing plants, and these are always one of those decks that come out of nowhere. That you go to Nats, the event is here, you wake up that Saturday or maybe Sunday. I mean, you're like day 2. Let me see what decks are doing well. Let me see. Okay, yeah, Snake Eyes, Phantom of Yugioh. Oh, maybe a Runic Stun player squeezed in, you know, and then you're like, what? What does that say? Ragnar who? Like, how did this guy make top this or top that or top 20, 128 or top 64? That one kid, he took the deck that no one expects. The deck that if you sleep on it, it could come in and get a dub on you with the new support coming out. You know, now everyone has access to Jasmine from Terminal Revenge. You know, so again, people come in, they get what they need. Don't sleep on cards like these. Don't sleep on a deck like this, you know, especially heading into a big event. Rogue is rogue. And especially now is more than ever because most people will not be playing rogue. Most people will be playing the best meta decks in town. They're the best for a reason. We get it. We give them their respect. But that's the rogue factor. When they don't expect you, they don't see you coming. That's your only and your best advantage when you're playing the best decks. You know, the unexpected. You know, how do they side against you? You know, maybe you go first and that's all you needed. You win the dice roll. Maybe things go your way. Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, the best decks are the best decks. It's all about consistency, math, I get it, but at the same time, sometimes it's luck. Just like with the anime, sometimes things go your way. So if you ever wanted to play plants, if you ever wanted exposure to this type of deck, now this thing was used to be 13s. Now it retraced all the way back down to 650. So now would be the time. What do you think about Ragnar Rikers and plants and all this, heading into Nats? What do you think?
I have the deck core. I was super excited about it. I have it set aside. We're actually giving away an entire deck core on the channel for hitting 2,000 subscribers.
There you go, guys. Wow.
But I'm hoping that somebody takes this and breaks it open. I really am, because I love reptiles.
Right.
I love the archetypes that this deck revolves around.
They're amazing.
And I would love to see them be able to do something.
Sure.
I'd love to see this be able to help Trap Trick or any number of plant, insect, reptile decks. I think it's a cool idea. I love the tri decks coming together like Tri Brigade. So this deck's kind of like Tri Brigade in the fact that it's bringing those three types together, and I think it's super cool. I hope the new support in the new set really helps it out. But I would love to see this deck go off at Nationals. I would love it.
Right. I mean, you always get that occasional plant player, that people don't see coming. You see it at regional, sometimes at YCS. Yeah, it's a good pilot. Usually it's not easy, facing all those good decks all the time. But again, yeah, with future support around the corner with that possibility, these cards, make sure you keep them in mind. They're just really, really good. And don't sleep on those cards. Then we have a staple, Triple Tactics Thrust here from Photon Hypernova. Again, we expect a reprint of this card sooner rather than later. It did skip the rarity collection. 2, it did skip Terminal Revenge. So I mean, I think the last stop for this card is the Tins, being from Photon Hypernova. It's a card that the masses been wanting to get access to this card. Me, I've never owned this card. You know what I mean? So if I see a reprint in the Tins, and it goes down from what? Let's see, 40, 50 bills. Let's clean this up a little bit here. Down to 20s, then your boy be like, you know what? Maybe go to locals, get a deal for $50 a play set. You know what I mean? We'll do it, but not $50 for one. Man, that's rough. And especially with the reprint coming soon. 22 listings here. As we can see, these were the highs, pushing triple digits. But now we're just down here. We're down here waiting, for a reprint for this card. Like COTO said earlier in the market watch, for these cards, many of these staples, most people that need them want them. But again, if you ever needed it, then now might be a good time again, heading into the event to buy it, to get access to it, to play it, not to invest. I would be waiting for the Tins. But yeah, we always compare and contrast investor, with the player, and just say, oh, it's good for the player right now, it's good to sell or buy, or the investor, this and that. So for this one, that's our take with regards to Triple T's. What do you think about Triple Tactics Thrust?
Yeah, I mean, I think most people are going to wait for this card. It is getting a reprint. But what I would say is, if you are considering buying this card before the reprint, don't buy any copy of this card except the Ultimate Rare, because that will hold its value. That's going to keep its value when the reprint comes. That Secret Rare original print, even though it's the original print, that will fall out. And that Ultra, definitely don't buy that. Because that will be like nothing when that reprint does come. So the only thing I would say on this card is, if you are going to buy it, make the investment, grab the Ultimate Rares, because those are the ones that are going to hold their value even when a reprint comes.
Excellent point. Look at this. So then, I have a question for you. Here we have 2 copies at 6162s. Who in the world is buying these at 50s? Who's coming in and paying $50? Look at that, for this card literally today, right here, and for the secrets, paying, look at that, look, man. Who's paying 70s for these, man? Please, COTO, man. I need your help, bro. I need your help. We need to save Billy Bob, man. We need to save him. Look at that. When you have these right here, look at that. Look at this OT. Where is it, man? Look at this. 60 bills right there, comfortable. Look, but let's say, Jay, they bought it. I couldn't catch this one. Then you have here 65s. Multiple under 70s. But no, you had to be that guy to pay 70s, even 55. Let's say you bought it, near the right price, maybe 50s. Pay the extra, whatever it is, $15 or 20 after tax, and just listen to your boy COTO. Get the max rarity all in all, especially if you're going to the event, you want to have that bling. You know what I mean? We have Guiding Quem, the Virtuals. A lot of people always have been wanting to get access to this card. You see a lot of people, man, it's expensive. I've always wanted this card. Needed to play the deck on a budget, find alternatives, because this card has been expensive. As you can see, at one point it was 20s, but then ever since it spiked up to 70s, it's always stayed up here, as we can see. Always stayed up here. It's never gone down below 40 bucks, essentially. Yeah, maybe you found a couple of deals when it was around 41s, 42s, sure. But for the most part, it's been a 40 billy card since last year. Since this full year, essentially. This full calendar year has been above 40 bucks. And as we can see, still holding that line. Yes. Will this card get reprinted soon in the tins? For sure. Maybe if it's short printed, it's hard to get. This one still retains some value. Yes, but what we expect for this one is this to spike down, especially post Nats. I think it's going to revisit that, under $30, maybe even 20s, maybe even in the teens. If it gets a reprint in the tens, then we could see this card just crash down. So keep that in mind. If you have extras, I'd be moving in now. Now would be the perfect time heading into Nats. People buying this, still holding strong here around, low to mid 40s. Like some people even paying 50s. If it's not to play. Because again, that's the thing, COTO. Sometimes I see in people's binders extras. They play branded, they already have their play sets or whatever, and you see 1, 2, 3 of these. They look beautiful. I get it. That's money, but it's money today. Don't take it for granted. Don't wait, because then money today can vanish tomorrow. What do you think about this one?
I think this card is a one of, isn't it?
No. When I mean play sets, I mean some people play, like before, or maybe they play that one now, but because the deck has transitioned throughout the months, where people but yeah, that's a great point you make. Let's say even one like you make, even at 45s, you know what I mean? Like even if it's one, they still have extras. You go to the binder and you see 2 to 3 of these and you see this card. Look at that, 44, 45s. What do you think is a good price when this thing gets reprinted in the tins, man?
Low. Like for me, the fact that I think, I'm not entirely sure because I don't play this card, but I think it's a one of.
Cool. Yeah.
And for this card to hold that value for as long as it has, as a one of, I mean, that's stunning to me. And part of me thinks part of the value of this card is just wrapped up in the beauty of the art of the card. Like people want it that aren't even playing it. They just want the card. And so, I do think a reprint is in line for this card, and I do think it's going to crash down to value. And like you said, if you've got extra copies of this card, I would be moving them like tomorrow, like right away. This is not a card that I would sit on, but it is an absolutely beautiful card. I love the card, and I want it, and I have no desire to play that card. But
for sure. I mean, yeah, some people, sometimes they just want cards because of the artwork. They love how it looks. You name it. It could be a multitude of factors. But like COTO just said, the important part here is essentially that this card is getting a reprint. So you don't want to be holding that back. Me here, I just pulled up. I don't know if you can see it. Just an example of a branded look. Some people play it at 1, like COTO said.
2.
Other people play it at 2. Again, some people maybe even have played it at 3 in the past. The whole point is people need it for their branded decks. We get it. That's the thing. But at the same time, just like COTO said, it's getting a reprint. So again, guys, it's not questioning like, oh, but yeah, like it's a one of, it's expensive. What's going on? Reprint. That's the whole point. Like COTO just said, reprint. $40 today could easily be in the teens tomorrow. You don't want to be that guy having multiple, or even one of these in your binder, and you have 40 billies today, and then you have 15 billies tomorrow, bro. That's tough. That's rough. It's happened to all of us. But when this is obvious. Tins is coming. Sayak is part of the tins. You want to make sure you're early. To sell early and not to sell late with this one. Now, COTO, we have Trident Drag, y'all, man. I know you got bulk. Konami told me that, to hook up, call COTO, bro. He got you. Yeah,
friend.
Yeah. He's like, yo, Jay, call COTO, bro. COTO got you, man. You need Trident Drag? Yeah. And in this bulk, he got you, bro. This $60 card right here, right now, from 5Ds, the secret rare. Beautiful card, by the way. It's just beautiful Tenpai Dragons, a deck that a lot of people thought would take over the meta. Not having that additional support has really cost it. So it's going to be nice to see when it gets a little bit more support, how it competes against Fiendsmith, Yubel, and the Snake Eye, and, the top tier meta decks. But yeah, this card was triple digits. Everyone went crazy. The Yu-Gi-Oh community, Konami coming out saying, contact your boy COTO because he has a poke, he has this card. Insane, man, insane. So, going from triple digits, coming back down to 60s. Okay, don't get it twisted. Yeah, you see 2 here, 4 here. But after that, with shipping quickly pushes 70s and beyond. So again, I think Tenpai, if they get new support, the deck could be rehyped a little bit. But yeah, the tins, we're getting this. So keep that in mind. Those 2 to 3 month time frame post Nats, is going to be key. Once the regional season ramps back up, if you don't need it, I wouldn't get it. If you want to play Tenpai Dragons, maybe, around 60s, not bad. It could quickly be a $70 to $75, $80 card sooner rather than later. But for the long term, with the tins around the corner, I expect this card to continue crashing down. What's your take on this one, Cody?
Well, first of all, I think it was a terrible decision for Konami to put this in the tins. It's so far out from when the rest of the deck came. This should have been in Battles of Legend, Terminal Revenge. It should have been tucked right in there. We should have had this so that, because right now, a lot of people walked away from playing this deck. And you're seeing the price being reflected in that. The deck is still very good. It can still kill you in one turn. I just got killed by it last week. So it can still kill you in one turn. It's a great, fun deck that people like to play, but the price of that one card has kept people from being able to play it, and then sticking it in the tins, which is coming out like almost a half a year after that core came out. That's crazy. And then saying, borrow one from a friend. What a jerk move that is. I wish I had a stockpile of these. We started, Yu-Gi-Oh card collecting really with Genesis Impact. So that's as far as we go back with our bulk and all of that. And this card predates that by quite a bit. It's a beautiful card, though. I'm excited for the reprint. I think it's going to be too late. I think that people are going to have lost interest in the deck at that point, and I think they messed up. I think they missed their window.
Yeah, you see that a lot with OTS cards. You see that a lot with OTS cards. When we get the super, you're like, wow, shiny super finally, 3 months, after, we don't even play the deck anymore. So that's
you're seeing it right now with Ash.
Exactly.
Everybody expects Ash to get hit on the ban list because it's not an expensive card, and Konami's not going to lose money by hitting Ash to 1. And now it's coming out in OTS. The deck's been out forever. It's too late. Why did you wait? It should have came out in the last OTS.
Exactly. Exactly. It should. It's a card. Age of Overlord was what brought Snake Eye into the competitive scene. That was last year. We're talking about 7-8 months ago. Why couldn't you do it in the end of 2023 OTS or whenever we had it around that area? Just bring out the OTS. People are gonna get excited. That's the best deck. This, that, and the other. But now it's right before a list or Fiendsmith comes and fully takes over. So it's weird how they make those decisions. But yeah, this card. It's beautiful. I can't wait, because now sometimes you realize things after they happen. When the card is $1, $5, $10, you're like, you don't even know it exists, or you're just not paying attention to it. But this card, the 3 dragons, just artwork wise, I need this card. I don't know if it's this particular version. Maybe it's a reprint from the tins, but I want this card badly. Not necessarily just about, Tenpai or building that deck, but more just how it looks. This card looks beautiful. Beautiful, amazing artwork. Definitely has meta relevance. So definitely keep it in mind. Then we have Bonfire. This card, you have a deal there at mid-30s. But yes, this card used to be here $125 a pop, guys, in February. COTO woke up. He had a case lying around. Maze of Millennia came out. He's like, let's crack this open. And this card was $125 a pop. And now from February, this thing has dumped right there to 38s, guys, with some deals even in the mid-30s, guys. Insane. That's like $80, $90 left on the table. Man, of course, the hype was because people needed it at the time. But still, man, it is rough to see a chart like this. 41 listings. But people still need it. People still play it. This is Bonfire. It's a great card. This is a rotor for fire decks, for pyros. I meant to say. So don't sleep on it. Again, yeah. We need a reprint. Who knows when we're getting it? Because I think in the tins we're getting the previous Maze. Is it, or is it this one?
Yeah, it's the previous.
It's the previous, right? So we just don't know when this card is getting reprinted, because it didn't come in Terminal Revenge. It was too soon, so keep that in mind. So again, everyone's just waiting for the Banlist. Everyone's waiting for the Banlist. They don't want to come in and pay, $120 for a playset of this, and then the deck that uses it gets nuked. So it makes sense. But yeah, if you're going to Nats, if you need it, I would come in. I'd be one of these guys just buying what I need to play, and then right when Nights ends, man, we dumped this. We dumped it. That's crazy. The crash that can be coming, post Nats. Man, I love to see it every year. People coming home, thousands of Yu-Gi-Oh players, they just slap, the card in the market. So let me know, what do you think, man? I closed it by mistake. What do you think about Bonfire?
Bonfire, I think what you're seeing with Bonfire and the price go down, first of all, with the ban list, I always say follow the money. And what I mean by that is Konami is not going to ban things that they're still making money on. And Bonfire is a card that they're still making money on. I don't see Bonfire getting hit. But are they going to hit other things in the deck? And I think they will. But I think primarily what you're seeing with the crash of all the fire cards is people are just tired of playing it. They want to play something different. You play a deck for month after month after month after month, and you just want to play something different. So like Yugioh comes out, or Melodious, or whatever it is, and you're like, what? I just tired of playing fire. I know at my locals, there's like very few people that are playing Snake Eyes or Fire Kings or any of the fire decks anymore because they're just tired of playing it. They want to play something different. And I think you're seeing that reflected in the price of a lot of these fire cards, is people want to play something different.
Yeah, that's a great take, great perspective. Even the CR dumping down to 75s, the chart hasn't even caught up. A lot of people just wanting to take profits, wanting to get rid. It's crazy that this is just 2x from the alternative version, the ultra rare. So I mean, that's crazy when this card at its peak was 262 bills, man. Insane to see just all that money evaporate, man. That's strong. And then to think that there's still people holding this card, it's tough. It's rough, man. They had 206, bro. That's like over 750. That's rent money. You know what I mean? And now rent money becomes play money. It's tough. When rent money becomes play money, it's rough. It's rough out here, but it happens to all of us, It's all fun and games, but, we do need to do our due diligence and be responsible, and again, I mostly talk about extras, because if you're playing, you're getting the value out of it, going to events, topping maybe, getting product, you're good. But I'm saying you see this in people's binders. They had it when it was 262s, and they still have it today when it's 75s, and they'll still have it when it's 40s. And that's the thing. All that lost purchasing power because they're holding on to a falling knife that they just don't realize it. That's the point of watching these markets, analyzing the charts, analyzing case openings like COTO, to stay on point with cards like these. Then we have Arch Nemesis Protos. This is one that we just talked about recently. One that heading into Nats is actually spiking the demand for this card. Look at that. Look at this card. As we can see, look, spiking up here was 45. Post Banlist card was $6, man. Wow. For spike, retrace back down to the mean to 26 billies, 25, some deals there. People forgot about the card. Now respiking. Says 38s here. Look, essentially around there, $37, $38 right here for this card. 23 listings, 3 pages only. No reprint in sight. Again, this spike, people realize, not in Terminal Revenge. I need Protos. People coming in. The demand is too great. This is going to be a $40 card soon. I will not be surprised to see this at $50, in the next week or two. I would not be surprised as the people come in. People just need it. They're willing to pay a premium, especially going into a top tier Yugi event, like the biggest event of the year in North America. So again, people want exposure, to this card. And I wouldn't be surprised if we break this high and make a new all-time high, as we can see in the charts. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think you're right on that. This is a card that I thought was going to be in Terminal Revenge. It did not get put in that set. And as a result, you're seeing this card spike up every time this card is legal. And this card is money. And it is always spiking up. Now, sometimes, or almost always, Konami reprints some random cards and puts them in the tins. And I wouldn't be completely surprised if this card showed up in the tins. Remember, that's a 400 card set that's going to be in the tins. It's a massive set that's going to be in there. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that with this card. But if they don't, like you just said, if this card doesn't get a reprint in the tins and it missed Terminal Revenge, I can see this card going up to $50 easy. It's hard to get. This is not a card that's easy to get. Eternity Code, it was a very good set when it came out, and there's not a ton of Eternity Code just sitting around.
I mean, yeah.
So
look at that. That's a great point. If we click here, best selling. Look at that. The Nemesis cards. Maybe Starlight this, maybe this little card, this little card. But after that, you know, like, I mean, the set is old, and two, I mean, a lot of these cards got reprints. But yeah, so the value moves from the old cards that get reprints to the new cards or the old cards that haven't got reprinted. So as you can clearly see there, and look, just like KOTO mentioned right here, dueling mirrors. People are going to be waiting for September for Dragion, for potential protos. So it's going to be insane. I won't lie. I like the tin, man. It looks fire. It looks fire.
I do like it,
you know,
too.
Being a Yugi boomer, bro, that's where it's at right there. But yeah, like KOTO just said, 400. Where's that 400, man? Look at that. Shh. Man, 400, that's a lot of cards, man. I mean, the rarity collection, when you're opening that thing, you feel like it's an endless sea, you know, like a big ocean of a Yu-Gi-Oh cards that you open and you're like, man, this thing came in here and this and that. And that's just like 80, 90 cards. Imagine 400, you know, 4X of what comes in the rarity collection. Insanity. So that's a great point. A lot of cards, I think you're right. This year, especially with the amount of cards, it fits the bill for it being a massive reprint sets of cards that not just come here in these core sets, but also things that came before, you know, an older core sets that still need reprints. And, you know, we'll welcome that. We'll welcome that because it's very much needed. Then we have Arias the Labyrinth Butler. I like Lab. You know, Labs heading into Nats. No one's talking about Labyrinth. No one's talking about a deck that just topped 8 in a YCS Indy like a couple of weeks or whenever that event was. It was the only deck in the top 8 against Snake Eye. Of course, now you're going to have different factors and Fiendsmith and Yugioh. We get it. You know, and it's about matchups and this and that. But I wouldn't be surprised. Again, it's a deck that has continued to compete in top tier of Yu-Gi-Oh events. People always sleep on it, and the trap deck finds a way to sneak into the top tables. I mean, this card was 23s, now retracing back down to the mean, into the teens here. 3 pages only, 30 listings. Again, look at that. Some people even paying 30s for multiples. Why? Because they're Billy Bobs, first of all. And second of all, because they really need the card to compete at Nats. So again, what do you think about Labyrinth as a deck core? You know, the competitive edge to it lately in events, and maybe what they could possibly do in an event with thousands of Yu-Gi-Oh players like Nats, man.
First of all, there's no more beautiful deck than Labyrinth. I mean, when somebody rolls in with a high rarity Labyrinth deck, that is absolutely beautiful. I love traps. I'm a stun player. I love traps. I always root for the trap decks. I just don't see it though. I don't see Lab being able to compete with Yubel and the Fiendsmith engine. Will I be rooting for it? Will I be happy if they do well? Yes, I hope they do. But I don't have huge expectations for Labyrinth coming into this.
Yes, and no one can be against you because those are the facts. Right now, it's not looking too good. Right now, probability-wise, it's just not, you know, a favorable matchup per se. But at the end of the day, you know, look at that. It's Fiend, man. Watch some crack dude trying to break this into the metal with Fiendsmith and some crazy stuff. You just never know. But at the end of the day, it always has that rogue factor when people sleeping on it, people getting prepared just for Fiendsmith, just for Snake Eye, just for Yubel, and that comes out of nowhere. Might surprise people. That's what I like about Nats this year. It's a little bit different. Because, again, that new set coming out right before, yes, that means it's going to literally change the meta and people won't be ready. You can't get ready in 24 hours and 48 hours for an event where 3,000 Yu-Gi-Oh players go and none of them know what they're doing, you know, essentially. Because the cards are just so new, so fresh. A deck like this, a good pilot, people know, they know what they're doing, you know, with their own deck at least. You know what I mean? But that's exciting, man. This National is going to be very, very exciting. I look forward to it. I don't know. I forgot to ask. I don't know if you can make it out there. You're going. To me, it's the first time, you know, that I'm going to Nats because I found a flight, you know, for like 150, you know, to go and come back from Florida with the Florida boys. I'm like, man, 150. I need to make it out there, man. That was cheap. You know what I mean? So Yeah, I'm going to Nats this year, and I think it's going to be an exciting one. So how about you? You've gone to YCS's, Nats before. In the future, what are the
No,
plans? What are the plans?
the most that we've gone to is regionals. We've gone
Okay.
to a couple of
Okay.
regionals.
Cool. Cool.
Enjoyed it.
Right.
Had a ton of fun. Me and my son. But
Awesome.
basically, my son's schedule gets so busy
Right.
that it's very difficult for us to do that. And doing things without him
No, it's not
kind
the
of
same.
hurts my soul
I feel you. I feel
a
you.
little bit. So I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for him to get ready. But the big tournament in Orlando.
Yeah, YCS.
I think
Ooh,
we're gonna roll too.
everywhere.
I don't think
Yeah.
I can miss that.
Nah.
That's way too cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah. That's in the backyard for
I'm
sure.
real excited about that.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Can't wait. That's gonna be fire. When we get that finally. It's about time. It's been like 10 years or more or something since we last had a YCS in Florida. They
Yeah.
can't do that to us. So I'm excited and I'm looking forward to that. And then another card again, transaction rollback, just rolling, from the previous card into this one, rolling over to this card. As you can see here, card was 36s, dumping down to 28s. Again, here's really says 25s. Charts haven't updated. But again, this is a great card. Again, a great trap card. That again allows trap decks to compete. That's all you can ask for. When you're playing these rogue decks, at least you can compete. Yeah, things may not go your way. You're just facing a stronger, bigger, better deck. It happens. But at the end of the day, card staples like these in trap decks, they allow people to compete. That's all you can ask for. And another one, just like Bonfire coming from Maze of Millennia, this card is not as easy to get as it might seem. And we can see here's just right there hovering at around 25s as we head into Nats. What do you think about rollback?
Yeah, I love the card. Like I said, I love trap decks, so I think the card does a lot for trap decks. I'm surprised that it's hung on to that price as much as it has, considering that a lot of the trap decks haven't been able to get over the hump as much. But it's a fantastic card. If you play trap decks, this is definitely a card that you want. And this, and like you said, Bonfire, that was carrying that set, the Maze of whatever it was.
Yeah, Maze of
Millennia. Those two cards were just carrying that set. And you did have triple
T's,
triple
right?
tactics thrust in there. But it's a fantastic card. I don't know that it's going to go down any more than it has, because it seems like it's solidified what it is. And what it is about a $20 to $30 card. Right. Sometimes a little bit lower, sometimes a little bit higher.
Yeah, great take. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. And it's crazy. Just clicking on this, I had no clue this was a $6 Ultra, bro. That is insane. This card was like trash. It was $1. No one cared about it. And now this thing is $6. It's just random. Has nothing to do with the getting ready for Nats or being best selling. But when you see cards like these, look, this ultra rare and this super rare, look at that. Look at this thing, man. Just talking about some random spikes here for you guys. The COTO special right here. That's what you can see. Look at that. This card, and look at this one. Look at, man, what's going on? COTO just randomly pulled up random cards. What are your thoughts on these two cards from Maze of Millennia? Let's see if you have an explanation of why in the world this thing is spiking up. Take over.
I think you're getting photon support.
That's true.
Coming in one of the next couple sets coming out. Mm-hmm. And people who play like Photon, Galaxy Eyes, they love those decks. Like, there's a lot of I don't know. There's a lot of interest from people who love those decks, that they spiked this sucker up, because when this card came out, it was nothing.
It was trash.
You couldn't give it away.
Literally.
We were trying to give it away, and you couldn't give it away. But it is a good card. Soul Sweeper, I think that's what it's called.
Stone Sweeper.
No, Stone Sweeper.
Yeah.
That card was expensive from the very beginning. It was a card that had, I don't know, okay, it wasn't that expensive.
No, but it had value. I know what you mean. Like, for it being a super rare, like, it's not like shekels or like that no one cares. It was like 1, 2, you know what I mean? So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. For a super rare, that card always had value.
Right.
And whether it's the Earthbound people or whatever it was, the card always retained value. I remember selling what we had left as singles, and they were worth selling because the card had value. But that Photon Delta Wing, that did not always have value.
Yeah.
And I really think the Photon Galaxy Eyes community has, that's a beloved kind of archetype that people just, they want to see it. They want to see it good. They want to see it get support. And I love it. I love these older archetypes that people have never abandoned. They've never walked it. They just love it and they're committed to it. And then when it gets new support, they're all in. Yeah. And I think that's what you're seeing there.
I mean, that's 100%, man. I have to agree with you in the sense that, yeah, I met this guy in locals. He's a Photon player. And that's all he cares about. He could care less about no Little Knight. He could care less about no Sky Crisis, about no Labs, no Snake Eye, no Yugioh, no nothing. He just wants his Photon cards. So when he sees that a Little Knight is $100, but then he comes and sees his Photon card is about $1 and some change, he's happy. He's like, let me get it now early. No one cares about that. And at the same time, he could care less. It's worth $6 a day. He just wants access to the card, and that's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? It is. Yeah. When you put it inside that context. And man, this parabolic advance move, this is strong, man. Going from a Billy straight up to 5/6s, man. And after these are 1-ups. The R09 is already at 8, so this might be a double digi ultra rare, guys. 18 listings only. We had to talk about the random card pop up. I definitely had fun, referring to those cards, and great takes for sure. And then towards the end here, we have a couple of staples. We have a couple of staples from the Rarity Collection. Again, as you head into that season, you want to have your staples down pat. There's supers and ultras that are around $4 to $5 over here from the Rarity Collection for Forbidden Droplet, for example. We can see the trend. This is just crazy how this card just continues stair-stepping its way up into a new all-time high after a new all-time high. We were talking about this card at around 2 to 3 billies. We said, guys, this is easy money. And since then, the card essentially has doubled up in price. 43 listings. Yeah, you see Walls of China, but I told you guys, been telling you guys, I would not be surprised if I wake up one day and this card is 750s to double digits. The card is just too good. People need access to it. This card is just broken, man. The card alone, I've seen it time after time after time break down a field. The Yu-Gi-Oh player going from hopeless to getting the dub. Literally, just one card. He's hopeless. He's like, this big board and he's going to lose. And then he plays this and he can overcome, that massive advantage that his opponent had in that particular situation. Broken card. He can't respond. It's a quick play. You can activate it in the damage. It's just craziness, with a card like this. So again, at $5, 5 and some change, I still think it's cheap considered what it could be in the future. But we do see the uptrend going strong. The trend is your friend until the end, like we like to say on the channel. What do you think about this staple?
Yeah, I mean, this is, when this card came out in the Rarity Collection, it was at a time when this card was out of the meta. And that's a rare time. From the very beginning of this card coming out in Rise of the Duelist, this card was meta relevant from that time all the way till now, except for that one brief period. And I think it was Kashtira, I think, made this card irrelevant. And so the card wasn't getting played. And we kept telling people $25, $30 for the quarter century of Forbidden Droplet is ridiculous. Buy these right now. And you can see the card has just spiked up. And that, I don't think you're going to see $25, $30 on that card ever again. It's an amazing card. It like Jay said, this card can take you from you got no chance to I just won the game. and so secret rares, the PURs, the PCR, like all of them, get the Forbidden Droplets, get them, that they've already spiked up, but it's because it came in Rarity Collection, it's still pretty cheap. You might not be able to get the quarter centuries now, but you can still get some of the lower rarities of the card. Just have a playset of it, because it's a fantastic card.
For sure. I mean, you said it just like I said it. You said it, even better, you know, in that sense of just get access to it. Just get access to it. We showed the supers, the ultras are cheaper. Just get any, they're holographic. This card only has holographics. You can't go wrong getting access to this card. It'll probably get a common in some structured deck, you know, coming soon, because they'll do that. And then that'll be a great investment, because we see, look at that. Look at that. We're going to talk about this card and just touching base on it is next. Look at this. Look at these commons. Just take a look for yourself. Oh, it's a common. It's trash. You know, we got 7 new prints in the rarity collection. Why would I want a common? Because the common, this is the reason why. Because the common was $1.88, probably a little bit cheaper. And now you wake up one random day and it's $6.59 right there, pushing sevens for a common print. This is going to most likely happen for this card as well, so we'll definitely talk about that when it does happen. It'll be a beautiful investment. But yeah, we have infinite impermanence. Again, this card, look, super rares, commons, any version is essentially 6 to 7 billies. People just need this card. The card went from being 2s, under 2s for commons and some super rares, overly reprinted. You know, everyone felt like they had their imprims, to now Nat season is here and the card all versions have 3x and above for impermanence. As you can see, it's a card that everyone plays at 3. If you're rogue, if you're meta, if you're this, if you're that, most people play this card at 3s. Most people need their play sets. You can see that for the super rare, you know, it's curving on up. This is the one from Cyber Strike Structure deck. You can go to the rarity collection one, is the same. You can go to the common, is the same. All of these cards have the same trend, trending upward. The trend is your friend until the end. I wouldn't be surprised to see this pushing $7 card right now be $10 across the board. $10 across the board for all infinite impermanence. Says the card is just too great. Is one of the best meta staples out there. One of the cards that are most used by the most decks out there. So again, what do you think about infinite impermanence?
Yeah, this is the joke on our channel all the time. I've referenced this so many times. I'll have people come up to me and ask, you know, do you have infinite impermanence? And I'm just like, how have you played Yu-Gi-Oh for 6 years and you don't have a playset of infinite impermanence? Like, how is that even possible? Like, you should have a playset of infinite impermanent, put it, like, never trade it, never sell it, only upgrade it, make it better and better and better. This is probably, besides Ash Blossom, the most playable card in the entire game. I don't know any deck that can't play Imperm. I don't know any time that you would be like, well, Imperm's not a good card. Like, for me, this is a card that you should have. You should have a play set, and it's a card worth investing in a higher rarity because you're always going to be putting this in whatever deck you're playing. And for me, that's what matters. Like, you've got these cards that you've invested in, and you can, if they're not cards that, oh, I'm playing a certain deck, so I can't play them now.
Right.
You can always play Imperm. You can always play Ash. These are just cards that you should have in the rarity that you want them in.
I mean, and again, it's just such a staple. It's such a staple. Like, you can't go wrong. Like, you just played 3 Imperms and you feel like you have a shot. Literally, it's one of those cards. Yeah. Just like Forbidden Droplet takes you from not having a shot to winning, this card just being inside the deck, you feel like you can compete. You feel like you can stop that one move that your opponent does that breaks down their deck, that maybe makes them look at their cards and be like, I pass. You know, and cards like these, you can't take them for granted. When they were $1, $2, you can't take them for granted. Even now, 5, 6, 7 billies, wouldn't be surprised to come in here and see 10s across the board one day, because the card is just that good. It's just that broken. And who knows when it gets another, because it already got structured deck reprints multiple times as a super and a common, and then another super in the rarity. I mean, it's always been there for months and months and months. But again, if you don't, like COTO said, this is essentially your last shot. Like, there's no reason, no excuse to not get exposure to this card before it's possibly double digits across the line. And just to piggyback off what COTO just said about Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, you know, it's the hand trap staple. You know what I mean? It's a card that if you have 3, you can't feel bad hitting Brandon Fusion. You can't feel bad hitting Bonfire, or another search card, or something that dumps, or something that does this, that does that. Just such a flexible hand trap that literally, it's a card that since inception has come out and then literally stops turns. That's the thing. People have ashed me, pass. I've asked people, pass. It's just one of those cards that if you can time it right and you hit the right thing, it can change the game for you. So when you have impact cards like these, same deal. Look, you have every copy essentially has a market price. Look at that, essentially at $5. Even for the commons. And again, it's just another example. You come in here and you click the yearly. Look, this card at one point was 240s for this card, and now it's pushing $5s, essentially doubling up in price for the common. This is another one. People forget that this common, there was a common that was double digits before the rarity collection came and Ashes started, being reprinted left and right. The commons were at double digits. Now they went down to 2s, maybe 3s, and now they're bumping back up. The same, just like COTO said, no excuse to not have exposure to essentially what's been the best hand trap in Yu-Gi-Oh! For years and years and years. A $5 comment today can become a $10 comment tomorrow. You don't want to be that guy paying a 2x ROI premium on this card. Just don't be Billy Bob. What do you think about this one?
Oh, I love Ash Blossom. I mean, that I started Yu-Gi-Oh by building zombie decks, and I couldn't bring myself to pay for Ash Blossom, and so actually Cohen, for my birthday, bought me an Ash Blossom, which I still have in a case because I absolutely treasure that card, because he did it without me asking, without, he paid for it. And he was like 9-10 years old. And to me, that is the most valuable card I have. And since then, I've upgraded my Ash Blossoms. I always make sure that I have at least 6 Ash Blossoms to put in different decks. Yeah, you just have to have it. This is like, being a carpenter and not having a hammer. Like, this is a card you need. It's not optional.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like what COTO said, non-negotiable. Essentially, it's non-negotiable in most Yu-Gi-Oh decks. And if you're just not playing the card, for the most part, unless you're just not playing hand traps, maybe you're runic stun, maybe you're a very specific niche deck. But if it's not like that, you're going to need it. You're going to be at a disadvantage if you don't have at least a playset inside your deck. Then we continue to pot of prosperity here. From the rarity collection, another one that, look, it was $5 the other day, spiking up. The demand is coming in. The list came, didn't touch it, and it's still at 3, so people need it. 59 listings here. You have some walls of China. But look, when it was 5s, we expect the 750s conservatively. We wake up today, this is where we're at. And now with COTO, we expect $10 for this. It's too easy. The game is too easy. Unless the Banlist come, nukes it a 1 or bans it or this and that, this card won't get reprinted anytime soon. You know what I mean? It's just too good. It's a pot card. You can excavate inside your deck. It's just too good, man. It's too good. Or worst case, it works as bait. You know what I mean? So I really like this card. We've liked it since it was 2 to 3s. We've liked it since it was 5s. We still like it at 774s as it heads its way towards double digits. You don't want to be that guy. We said it across the board. There's just some of these staples that you look at them, and if they don't get reprinted as time passes by, Yu-Gi-Oh players that quit come back, or maybe there's new players that are like, yo, what cards? You need Pot of Prosperity. You need Ash. You need Infinite Impermanence. You need these staples. The demand comes in, and this easily can be a double-digit card sooner rather than later. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic card. And even though it's a fantastic card, I don't see it as being bannable or limited. Like, I think it's good for the game. And I know a lot of people speculate every ban list that this card is going to get limited or banned or hit in some way. I just don't see that's going to happen. I think that this card is good for the game. It's a very good card. Is it broken and ruining the game? I don't see that. So for me, I wouldn't be worried about going out grabbing a playset of this. And if you are, go out grab a playset of super rares or ultra rares. Or what's funny is that at least I find it funny. Since Rarity Collection came out, I've realized that people value super rares over ultra rares. And that's kind of strange to me, because I will sell through all my super rares before I start selling ultra rares. And it appears as though, if given the choice at the same price, the community values super rares over ultra rares. So if you want the cheap one, grab the ultra rares.
That's insane. I'm just looking for this card because of the same thing. Look, I have Red Ice Fusion, right? This is the ultra rare from the reprint. I think it was Brothers of Legend, was it? Yeah. And me, I prefer the super rare from Clash of Rebellions, the OG print.
Yeah.
It's rare. I rarely prefer OGs or first. Like if it's a rarity bump or a high rarity to max rarity, I'm gonna prefer that 95% of times. But there's some of these ultra rares that they don't look in the best quality. You know, they look, you know, like just reprintish. Like it's not like there's a difference between a reprint ultra and like a core set ultra. Like for example, you could just notice the quality. So in this case with Red Eyes Fusion, I prefer the super. It just looks clean. It looks mint. So I think there's some people that they see their pot of prosperity and they're like, yeah, I mean, you know, but then they go to the super, and at least the one thing it has going for it, yeah, is the lowest rarity per se. But it looks clean. It's a clean copy of the card. You know, no shenanigans. You know, no this, no that. You just get a clean holographic. Where with this, if you see the picture of this, I don't know. Look at the name. It looks a little bit dark. Like it just, I don't know. I mean, I might be speculating here. I'm just talking about personal experience. I mean, I always prefer, for the most part, the higher rarity. And like COTO said, it's very surprising that this card, that the ultras, being a technical higher rarity, are lower in price. But that's like the one thing that I could see where people might be like, you know what, man, these supers look clean. You know what I mean? Over the ultras, so it's weird. But you know, in these rarity collections, that's true. That's the way that is definitely played out. And then we have triple T's again, but not thrust. Here we have talent, just a broken card. Triple tactics talent, a staple. Again, look at that. Heading into nets, people need it. They're willing to pay a premium. They're willing to pay a premium for a card that we were talking about down here. 350s is too cheap. Then sub 5 billies, we said, guys, it's still cheap. As it went up, stair-stepping its way up. Look at that beautiful trend. You know, just uptrend. You know, higher lows and higher man, I got confused. Higher highs and higher lows, guys. That's what you want to see. The trend is your friend until the end. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Parabolic advance move to $7.62. Look at that right there. 4 pages right there. 40 listings. Guys, this is another one. Yeah. Oh, there's an R09 at 770s. Man, that's just 3 people coming in and getting their copies. This can easily be double digits across the board for all of these staples that we talked about it months and months and months on end. And now you can see that these are appreciating in price. What do you think about triple T's, COTO? Such a broken card with 3 effects that they're bannable, man. Like these effects were banned in the past, and now you're like, yeah. I mean, it has a condition to play, but that's easy nowadays. And now you can choose, you know, oh, let me steal this. Let me hit your hand. Like, it's broken. What do you think about this one, brother?
This is my favorite spell in all of Yu-Gi-Oh. Ooh. I love playing this card. Ooh. And there's rarely a deck that I don't play this card. Actually, the deck I'm playing right now, I don't play it. And it's the first time I haven't played this card in a deck. These 3 effects, like you already pointed out, they're broken effects that are bannable and have been banned on individual cards. And they're all on this one card. This card is my favorite card. And for me, that platinum is my favorite. Now, I know that there are people out there that do not like the platinums in Rarity Collection 1. I personally love them. And I think that the Triple Tactics Talent Platinum Rare is the most beautiful card in the entire Rarity Collection 1 set. I have the quarter centuries as well as the platinums, and I oftentimes prefer to play the platinums. I just think they're absolutely beautiful. So it's an amazing card. You should definitely have it. And if you want the supers, go grab the supers. Whatever it takes to get access to these cards. That's the beauty of Rarity Collection 1 and Rarity Collection 2. There you go, right there. Right there, Jay's got the. Are those the platinums?
Yeah, they are. Look, that's my favorite rarity from Rarity Collection 1 as well. Look at that. Some people say a lot of noise, but hey, you already know. Look at that shininess, man. They look clean, just like COTO said.
They are absolutely beautiful. I just love that card. One of my favorites.
Yeah, for sure. Look, called by droplets. Just look, platinum secrets. Those are it, man. I went in, took like $100, got me play sets of all the platinum secret ashes, droplets, talents, called by. Just beautiful. My favorite rarity from Rarity Collection 1. It looks clean. It's like a revamped secret rare, just like a better secret.
I also think those are going to age really well, particularly because they didn't duplicate it in Rarity Collection 2. So that rarity in Rarity Collection 1, the Platinum Rarity in Rarity Collection 1 is unique. Like if you go back and you look at Duelist Saga, it has a unique foiling on those cards. And those cards are beloved cards.
I love Dusa, man. I love Dusa.
Yeah. And I think that the Platinums have the same potential as Dusa, like years from now. People like you'll bring your Triple Tactics talent and they'll say, "Oh, those are Rarity Collection 1 Platinums. I got to have them." Sure. I really do think that they're going to age really nicely, and I would certainly be picking those up.
Yeah, look at this. It's beautiful. Look, I bought the imprims around like 9s, I think it was. Veilers, Ash. I just came in literally, just open one of each and just place it. Let me get 3 of these, 3 of that, 3 of these. Like on most of these, I think I got up to Lightning Storm, I think. Yeah, maybe I got Desires, Dark Rulers. I didn't get Ghost Bells, I think. But yeah, the whole point is I got like the cards that I needed in this rarity. Like KOTO said, it's a fan favorite. I love it. He loves it. And the key is, if we get a Rarity Collection 3, they're not going to do this. Like KOTO said, they're not going to do this rarity in 3 or 4 or 5, however many, or even if we don't get a Rarity Collection. Like, they're not going to do this anymore. If we would get a Rarity Collection 3, then they're going to do this one. They're going to do the new ones. These are going to be the ones. So you'll just have more of the same per se, instead of getting, you know, the ones that are harder to get. Look, we'll get more of these. And these look nice. I like them too. I won't lie. But yeah, the first ones, they just brighter, cleaner. Like, they don't shine as much, but they shine just enough. I really like that perfect balance. Yeah. So I have to agree with KOTO on that one. All right, man. Yeah, it took look at that, over an hour and a half here. I've had a blast, brother. I mean, man.
Oh yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. Again, thanks for swinging by. This is the first time, but not the last. You know what I mean? It's been a pleasure. Just wanted to get you to hop on the channel for over an hour and a half. We've been talking just value, just straight value about the markets, cards you should be picking up, cards you should be considering, cards maybe you should be getting rid of as we head into Nats, just discussing the latest and greatest, the best-selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And again, guys, if you live under a rock, stop living under that rock. Get out from the bottom of that rock and come over here and subscribe to your boy KOTO. I'll leave a link in the description down below. 2K is too little. This guy, he knows what he's talking about. He literally gave you an hour and a half just preaching facts, using evidence, case openings, you name it. Make sure you check out his channel. You know, great content, great thumbnails over there. He told you why he loves Yu-Gi-Oh. I know if you can respect that, that's a hell of a reason, man. Sons, family, you name it, man, has a store. He does it all. Make sure you swing by, show some love. Any last words before we get out of here, Mr. KOTO himself?
I appreciate you having me on the channel, man. I just want to give you a plug. You've been so kind to me, and you know, all the comments about the channel and all that. You all that follow Jay, you know who you're following. This guy is putting out daily content, you know, every single day. Top quality content. It's super great. I just want to give you an example of the guy that you're following here. So yesterday or this morning, he did a video on cards that you should be buying. He went through Battles of Legend, Terminal Revenge, and he got to Blazing Cartesia. And he started looking at Blazing Cartesia, and he said, "Wait a minute, there's something wrong. This price is higher than it should be."
Right.
And then he said, "You know, there's less listings on here than there should be." And then he finished it up by saying, "There's something going on with this card." And I just want to confirm that. And here's what's going on with that card. I bought that sucker out when that card was at 40 cents. I went in and bought 140 of them. And the reason I'm bringing it up to you is not to say that I bought 140 Blazing Cartesias. The reason I'm bringing it up is this guy's going over like 15, 20, 25 cards, and he noticed. Like, he noticed the market trends. He noticed something's going on with this card. There's a lot of people out there that are just shooting up content. They're not paying attention to what's going on. Jay's paying attention. I loved it when you were like, something's going on with this card. Yeah, it's right here. I don't even have most of them even sent to me yet. This is all that I got so far, but that just impressed me like right away. I was like, this dude is on it.
Man, I love the plug, man. You know, shout out to COTO. Look at that, making solid investments. I was talking about this card, and I always have fun in games. Like, why? Why would you buy this? You wouldn't buy the prismatic. But at the end of the day, if you get it for 40 cents, this will be over a billy soon. That's a beautiful investment. That's going to be over 2x. COTO know what he's doing. But the whole point is, I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always say I'm grinding my way to success. You know, I always say on the channel that I'm putting in the work with daily content, and that's what it takes. It takes hard work, dedication. You know, I'm putting in the time, researching, you know, checking all these cards, covering the latest sets, making sure that we pick the right ones. You know, again, we're not going to cover like literally every single card from, let's say, this set or from that set or whatever, but we just try to cover what's relevant. You know, the markets, they never sleep. You know, that's why we do daily content here, and that's fine. I've always said some people do it daily, some people do once a week. It doesn't matter. As long as it fits their bill, you know, and they're happy and doing, they share the passion, the love, and they do a good job, that's all that matters. But yeah, we put in the work, we put in the time. So I mean, for me, from the outside looking in, someone like you noticing those little things, you know, that's where the value that we try to provide on the channel comes from. Just paying attention to the little details. You know, what other people are not looking at, they don't have the time, they're not putting in the work or researching it. That's what we do here, and that's why people have found value in what I do. So, you know, receiving that feedback from you, brother, it means a lot. Thanks for noticing and for highlighting it and for plugging it in. It truly means the world to me. So again, guys, man, much love and respect for COTO, the man himself, dedicated more than an hour and a half to us here. Just beautiful content, sharing the love and the passion that we both share for this game. So again, I just want to thank you so much for hopping on and for that feedback. And yeah, any last words before we get out of here?
That's it, man. Thanks for having me on. I had a blast, man. I love talking about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You're a lot of fun to chat with, so it's been a great time.
Awesome, awesome. Can't get any better than that. Again, guys, if you respect the man, putting in the work, the time, the effort, grinding out there, you know, he has his sons, they're sharing Yu-Gi-Oh together, love and passion for the same game. Go make sure you swing by. Link in the description down below. Make sure you sub to the man himself. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time, for your support, and for your attention. Stay fresh.